Hello from Marex Boats. I'm Chris, and today we're just outside of Kaunas, Lithuania. We're going to take you through our facility and show you how each and every Marex boat comes to life. So here we are in assembly, and we're all familiar with what a finished boat looks like. Here's what an open hull looks like, and then we have the deck, and you'll notice it's actually manufactured upside down. But we're going to start where all this begins, and that's over in lamination. Here we are looking inside of the tool or the hull mold for a 440. Now this is where it all begins. So far the boat hasn't been produced. Going into here is going to be the first layer of gel coat, and then after that is going to be a skim coat. Now they hand lay this up because what happens is after the initial skim coat goes in, there's actually a very precise inspection that they do to make sure there's no air voids. Then they come back in, lay the rest of the e-glass, the coring, and they will vacuum bag it, and under vacuum they're going to resin infuse this entire hull. On this part the process is identical to a hull. So the gel coat has been applied. Now this is the back side. The A side or the finished side, what you see, is on the other side when this tool comes out. So when we gel coat a hull, it's the same way. It goes in, we'll lay our layers of e-glass, our coring, then we'll do the vacuum bagging, the infusing, and that's what finishes. But it all starts with laying down the gel coat within the tool. We went over and saw the empty hull, then we saw the completed hull. Here's some of the materials that are inside. This is the e-glass, and each of these sections is specifically cut to a particular shape. You'll notice that there's different lines running diagonally, vertically, horizontally. That's because this is triaxial e-glass, and what that means is it's designed to give strength in all different directions, and that's obviously very important in yachts today. So we're going to take a look at some of this material being installed in a deck. Now there's a fair amount of handwork being done and some of the cutting that you can see going on here, but the majority of the e-glass and the coring materials are actually CNC cut. And then what happens is everything's packaged together and they're put into kits, and then as the components come together, they go to different stages in the lamination process, and that's where we start putting the hulls and parts and decks together. So in this process, we showed you the empty tool. We do the gel coat, and that is a premium gel coat. Then we have the skim coat. Now, after that skim coat goes in and cures, there is a very important inspection done. And then we get to this stage. Now, this happens to be a deck, and what's going on is the e-glass is being put in. You can see how it's being glued down so it doesn't move. Okay, we have different types of internal coring for different parts of the boats. This just happens to be the garage door for the canopy. But you can see that this is 2-ply, and it's specially engineered for wherever it's going to be used within the boat itself. If I just pick up this one piece, you can see the honeycomb. So this is actually being used right here in the garage door. Now what happens is these get fully encapsulated during the infusion process, which means the resin is sucked in and there are no air voids whatsoever, making this one solid piece just like all the different parts on the boat. Here is a windshield. You can see that the glass is already in. What they're doing now is they're prepping for the infusion process. And so you can see that there's material up here. This is going to stick to the vacuum bag. They're going to go over it. And then we have different tubing. There'll be a lot more tubing when this is done. If we move over to our left, you'll see one of the vacuum bags actually being installed. So here's an example of a cutout from the deck, and you can see the extreme compression that we have of all the composite materials in here. So it's the coring, it's the multi-layers of glass, and the resin after the infusion process. No air voids whatsoever.
This infusion lamination process ensures precision, the result of which is a 60-40 glass to resin ratio, which provides improved strength and reduced weight. So what does all this mean for you, the boater? Well, simply put, it means a smoother, more capable ride for your family and friends. Thank you for joining us in this brief look at our lamination process. And from all of us here at Marex, thanks for being a part of our boating community.